Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Bigfighter and Spyro the Dragon is one of my all-time favorite games. Though if I have 100% of the game several times and even done some speedrunning of it, I've never actually done a challenge run of the game. And that brings us to this video. Since I'm just not going to do one challenge run, instead I'm doing two and seeing which one gets further. To explain, let's get into the rules. Firstly, the two different challenge runs I'm doing are Flame Breath versus Charging. That means, in one run I'm only allowed to use Flame to destroy chests and hurt enemies, and in the other, it's only allowed to be done by Charging. Second, all our moves are allowed, like jumping and gliding. Thirdly, no glitches, as I don't want to sit here and attempt a real difficult strategy for hours and get like 1 or 2 gems out of it. And lastly, we compare who got the most gems, dragons and eggs to determine which is the better attack style. I should also mention that all this was streamed live over at my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Bigfighter. So occasionally you will see all the shenanigans we were up to with that. But let's get into the first run using only Flame Breath. Yeah, so now I can charge. I don't have any button that charges. There we go. So let's get started, shall we? Now, the biggest grievance with only using Flame Breath is that we have to walk everywhere. But on the other hand, all flight levels are free 300 gems, since none of the objects requires to be charged. So nothing special to write about, but there were some surprising things on these during the charge only run. Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. There we go, 300 gems. A speedrunning track. If you take the last thing and then you fly into something above you, it instantly ends. Otherwise it has like a fly up animation. Already in Stonehill we encounter our first problem with only Fire Breath. Like this. These are totally... I can't do anything about these. Yes, the iron crates are only breakable by charging. That's a few unreachable gems already. But the worst thing is the Egg Thief. There's no way I can catch him by just walking. Which means he gets to live. In this run. Also, feels like I need to add some context to this clip. I have a thing on my streams called the Wheel of Discomfort. Every 20 minutes my viewers can spend 1000 channel points and make me spin the wheel. There's a bunch of different things on that range from making playing the game harder, learning languages and even exercising. Something gamers should do more of. But anyways, it's been fun addition, even if it sometimes slows down the gameplay. Playing one-handed wasn't too difficult to Stonehill, and we exited the level with all dragons and 168 gems. Bit of a shame that we couldn't get the Egg Thief, but hopefully we can find 5 more that we can actually catch. And while we enter the town square, I'll take the time to mention the big collection milestones we need to get, or this challenge is dead in the water. Because to access the next home world, we need to free 10 dragons. But this is only to access the second home world. In order, we have the Artisan's World, which we started at, Peacekeepers, Magic Crafters, Beast Makers, Dream Weavers, and Nasty's World. To access Peacekeepers we need to free the aforementioned 10 dragons. To get to Magic Crafters we need to collect 1200 gems. Then we need 5 dragon eggs for Beast Makers, 50 dragons for Dream Weavers, and finally 6000 gems for Nasty's World. And the milestone that really has me worried during this Flame Breath only run is the 5 dragon eggs. We've already missed 1, and there's only 12 in the entire game. It's not off to a good start. But we can actually get the Egg Thief in town square, as he coded to only run one way. We can quite easily drop down and flame him, making sure we get all eggs and dragons, plus an additional 155 gems from town square. Quickly moving on to the first boss level. Should also mention that every homeworld in Spyro the Dragon consists of 3 normal levels, 1 flight level and 1 boss level. The problem for the charging run is not only the flight levels, as the bosses themselves require to be flamed to be dealt damage. Not a good start for that run, and we haven't even started that run yet. But let's see how we fare with the flame run. Only missed 3 gems that are in iron crates. Surprisingly well. But not as well as Dark Hollow. That's 100%. We 100% the level. Yeah, that's 100%. And we also get everything on Artisan's homeworld. And with that we can take the first balloonist to the second homeworld, Peacekeepers. It's in this homeworld that the flame breath starts to struggle a bit. But first, let's check out Dry Canyon. This level has these spinny disc things that I've been hyped about, but they are an absolute disappointment in the Reignited trilogy. In the original they could fly incredible far and kill enemies or even destroy metal crates. But here they are more or less useless. What a disappointment. By the way, you can only destroy with Flame Breath. And to put even more salt in the wounds, there's another Egg Thief that is too fast for us to catch. But let's get some good news here. These metal enemies can actually be flamed with some patience. Also doesn't end there, as we can actually drop down and get the Egg Thief after all. There we go. Getting us to 2 out of 5 needed. That's also 4 more dragons and 375 gems, giving us 1310 gems in total, meaning we don't have to worry about getting enough gems to unlock magic crafters. We're in a row. But a cliff down, it all starts to go over a cliff. I'm intending my puns, I'm no coward. These enemies have a metal cape that they hide behind, similar to the shielded enemies in Dry Canyon. But contrary to the shielded boys, these are always protected by their cape. Doesn't matter if they are just attacked or not. Which means these enemies are entirely immortal to us. At least we can still get the big mamas and their pots, so not entirely empty-handed. We can also barely get this Egg Thief. Making us leave this level with all eggs and dragons, plus 313 gems. Ice caverns don't have much to mention, apart from these big armored enemies you need to charge up cliffs, and these gem lanterns that we also need to charge. We still exit the level with all dragons, and 319 out of 400 gems. Entering the second boss level, Dr. Shemp. This level also have armored enemies, but luckily they charge us and commit Sudoku, which means no charging needed for them. Allowing us to leave with 1 dragon and 268 out of 300 gems. Also, before I forget again, each boss level only have 1 dragon on them, apart from Nast himself, who has none. After that is another flight level, so there's a free 300 gems. And the last thing to mention on Peacekeeper is that there's an Egg Thief here, which you can get by flying over the pond. Meaning we get the anti-magic crafters with 4 eggs, all dragons so far, and 2685 gems. Not bad, but can we keep it up? Well, this Egg Thief is all to knows now, and so does these armored enemies. Anyhow, entering Alpine Ridge, we can talk a bit about the wizards, specifically the green ones, as they can alter the environment in different ways. Remember this, as it will be relevant later. But apart from that, it's a pretty standard level, until we reach the Egg Thief. Another one that is too fast for us to catch. It would be impossible for us to catch, unless someone caught him to only run one way. I could definitely get him if he would go this way because of the height differences. I believe it jumps up if I go from this direction, right? No, it doesn't! Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Let's just exit the level with the 5 out of 5 eggs we needed. All dragons and 417 out of 500 gems. Which means that is the final egg, allowing us to enter Beastmaker's world. That is such a relief. I also noticed that some enemies could hit each other. Ow. Oh, they can damage each other. Really? These are the ones I think can actually kill each other. Yeah, there we go. How far can you walk? Thank you, guys. So I think that's all the games we can get extra here. So that was 4 more games we could get. Nice. I could also do that again to get an additional 4 gems, but not gonna put more time on that for only 4 gems at this point. But I also noticed that the amount of gems on each level have increased quite drastically. And it does. But 500 is the highest it will go on normal levels. But that also means getting all gems on the levels on the first 2 homeworlds matter less in the long run. But let's get into the next level, High Caves. This one introduced our first power-ups, those being Supercharge and Red Flame. Supercharge is not important for this playthrough, so I'll explain that in a charge-only run later. Red Flame is a temporary buff we get from being kissed by this fairy, and it allows us to destroy metal objects with our flamer, which in turn allows us to destroy these metal spiders. With some kind of precise pattern, you can get all of them. But there are quite a few metal crates that are outside our reach. But there are more things to explain. Supercharge. I will actually talk some about it after all. Gotcha. But it's needed to reach some of the further away areas. Luckily, with some gliding we can still reach all of them. And even if we fall, some fairies will catch us and bring us to the top of the Supercharge ramp. So a safe place to risk it all. But this egg thief gave me a bit of a hard time. Just watch. Not correct. Can we do the same thing we did on the previous one that ran around in one of these circles? Like, we make him go down there, but I don't think he can get back up. What? Can I call bullshit on this? No, this one actually... We might have to hunt him further in then? This dude was hella bugged, but oh well, I'll take it. That's 7 eggs, right? And I guess he bugged out and then allowing us to flame him. I don't know, but I'll take it. With that, we got both eggs, all 3 dragons, 406 out of 500 gems out of High Caves. And then we ran into a wall. Or walked into a wall, if we're gonna be literal. The green wizards I talked about earlier came to taunt us. We need to supercharge here to be fast enough to get past before he races the ground to block us. And since we're not allowed to charge, there's no way past this wall. Meaning that standard flame run, halfway through the game, with only 3,611 gems, 41 dragons and 8 eggs. What a tragedy. Let's see how we fare with only charging. I'm just gonna slide in here to tell you to subscribe to my channel if you are enjoying this video. I'm usually pretty horrible on the self-selling stuff, but now I'm gonna do it properly. Since this is a video, I'll put probably more time into the editing than anything before, so yeah. Also like this video to show me that you want more videos like this. Thanks, and back to the dragon. As I go to collect everything in Stonehill, yes, everything, I feel like I should tell you the story of the first Spyro game. Well, what happened was that an old dragon insulted Nasty on up into you that he simply got so mad he turned all dragons into statues and stole their treasure. He missed turning Spyro into a statue because it was so small. And that's it. Simple but effective storytelling about how the smallest mistakes can grow to the biggest nuisances. Or a story about how size doesn't matter if you take it from the dragon's perspective. But there's Stone Hill, 100% complete. 100% on this level. Boom. And we're also almost able to collect everything in Town Square as well. Everything apart from that one yellow gem worth 10 gems inside the flame spinny thingy. Oh well, good enough. Dark Hollow is worse with only 79 out of 100 gems, but all dragons at least. As I could push past the big metal covered dudes in narrow hallways. Now then, the first flight level. I already didn't expect to gather everything in this level. I did get the chests and the arcs without problem. Then I got mighty surprised that I couldn't charge the planes. And add to the surprise when I could charge the trains, but only the barrels though. Meaning that I can get 180 gems from here. Couldn't get any more as the planes holds 60 gem, and then you get an additional 60 gems if you take all the obstacles in one run. But I'm very happy with 180. But then the good times end with the first boss level. The shepherds can be charged, but neither can the dogs or the boss. And since I can't damage the boss, I can't enter the other arenas, meaning I miss even more gems. In the end, I could only get 39 gems out of 100. The silver lining is that I got the dragon, and with 16 dragons in total I can now go to the second homeworld. Oh yeah, I also got everything in the Artisan's homeworld. In Dry Canyon, the first level of the Peacekeepers, there isn't much to note. Apart from confirming that large numbers be left alone. And the same with the flame spinny things. Everything else was a cakewalk. Or not. As these 5-hour crates can be charged, but they also deal damage to you. Still, we end with all 4 dragons, the egg, and 326 out of 400 gems. Cliff Town has some more stuff that I can't get, that being the cauldrons. As well as these rockets that get fired and destroying strong metal crates. Still a good bit over 50% of all stuff acquired here as well. Dr. Shemp, the second boss. Have the same issue as the first boss. You can't enter any more of his arena, so only 176 out of 200 gems from this level. The dragon is worth more percentages though. In Ice Caverns we could get the big armored enemies and lantern gems, so not a bad level with 362 out of 400 gems. And 5 dragons. But that's also it for Peacekeepers. You normally destroy the pillar with a cannon to enter the last part of the homeworld. But since that requires flaming, we can't access it. I did try some damage abusing jumps and tight glides, but no luck. I guess we just have to leave this area for now. Did you pick up on the foreshadowing? Time for Magic Crafters. We quite easily got over 1200 gems needed to access this homeworld. But we are almost immediately met with a failure as this egg thief requires both charging and flaming to catch. It's just too fast. At least that's what he thinks. Entering the Alpine Ridge with 2153 gems and a dream. And that dream is instantly crushed as this level has so many big enemies that we can't kill. Both the big furry mounts and the blue wizards require flaming. That is a lot of gems that we'll never get. But we can charge the riders, so it's something. The least fun part with this level is the firework crates on small platforms. It requires to die 3 times to get those gems. Rough. 96 gems missed, as it was inside big enemies. But almost everything nonetheless. And then the wheel of discomfort was rolled again. And it's set up so my wife, Yana, us to go to play for the rest of the stream. And I'm quite embarrassed to say that she got this egg thief almost instantly. I tried for a while. Round and round we go, we go, we go, we go, do 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 do. She also showed how you're meant to access the second part of Magic Crafters with the supercharge, meaning that the charge out will go for longer than flame one. But how much longer? Let's find out. After running around for a while, she actually entered Wizard's Peak. Yeah, the only rule is no fire. I mean, we try to get as much as possible. This is an area we didn't get into the fire because you need to supercharge. Get past it without the glitching.
Ah! I did not mean to go anywhere.
You want one? Burn before running is usually good. Good thing too. And after dying for a while, the stream was over. But I was excited to play this level and got straight into it at the start of the next stream. I also had an upgraded wheel that my friend Davidos laser cut for us. It looks so good. To get back to the matter at hand, the reason I wanted to play this level is because it has supercharges, and superchargers allow us to break anything breakable while charging. Like big enemies, strong metals, chests, and even the flame spinning things, if they're wearing on this level. And another piece of tech that made a lot of stuff possible in the future, I noticed that if you grind against the wall while supercharging, you can slow down without losing the supercharge, allowing you to take tighter turns. With that knowledge and a lot of practice, we could actually get everything in Wizard's Peak. And this won't be the only level that allows me to do so. Before that, another flight level, with arcs, chests, plane, and lighthouses. But we can only get the chest and arcs, so that's 120 games in the bank. Then I remember the rude egg thief at the start of Magic Crafters. And we also have supercharging. Me. Got him. We can also get the flame spinning things, meaning that we can get everything in the Magic Crafters homeworld as well. Let me introduce high caves, blue wizards, flame spinning things, and big armored spiders. But the good thing is we also have supercharges. Took a while to get everything, as the Wheel of Discomfort forced me to play with the controller upside down. And it didn't help that there were these narrow stairs in the spider caves as well, that required some very precise jumping to clear. Okay, so that's probably the way I should go. And then we needed to do another really long supercharge to get this last flame spinning thing hidden all the way up on a building at the start of the level. To put it into context, this level took almost an hour to get everything in. My personal best speedrun of Spyro Dragon is just under 40 minutes. So I could have played through that game faster than I completed this level. But hey, we're good at all. After collecting the final gems in the homeworld, we enter the boss level, Blowhard. And this being a boss level, I didn't expect much. But color me surprised when I saw that you can charge Blowhard to damage him. The surprises doesn't end there. As I also realized the green wizard on this level can't be charged. But they can be charged on all other levels. Like, what? I got so surprised at the round. So in the end, I couldn't get everything in the level, but only missed 40 games, which is a lot better than expected. And since we got an every egg apart from 1 so far, we have 11 out of 12.
Would you like to go?
And can easily get to the Beastmaker's homeworld. And this is where it gets difficult. Already in the first level, Terrace Village, we have to level up our movement game. Fun is still intended, as there's a lot of narrow paths blocked by big enemies that we can't kill. But not boy with all the deaths, we managed to get 284 out of 4 in the games, making it all worth it. Most of those games were in strong unbreakable chests you need a rocket to break. In the homeworld itself, the pigs are not as kind. But one pig will feel the wrath. Let's enter the worst level in the game. Misty Bog. A level that has enemies that scared me. These charging tree stumps. Terrifying creatures. And we can't hurt them with charging. And the level makes it very difficult to stay away from them as well. The pigs make a return at the end of the level. Luckily, they don't make a big of an issue on this run. Apart from that, you can climb walls. Spider pig. Spider pig. At least the pig outside the Mr. Bog level got what he deserved. Then we had another flight level. Same thing there as the previous. Chest and arc for 120 games, since the boats counts as planes and can't be charged. And the stream ended on a very fun but scary level, Treetops. Probably the level that most people remember from this game. Tell me in the comments which level is your favorite, by the way. Treetops is such a fun level on the charge only run, so you can take so many different paths that probably wasn't intended. And in the end we actually got everything in this level. Then it was time for the final level, the boss level, Metalhead. This boss is actually designed to be charged, as you charge these metal pillars that charge the boss. That's a lot of charges. He also shoots electricity and throws smaller enemies on you, which can destroy the pillars. Might be useful for another run if you catch my drift. And an even better part is that all enemies that he can throw dies when he dies, leaving all those juicy gems behind. I managed to get 484 out of 500 gems and that single dragon. Then it was time for the final full-sized homeworld, Dreamweavers. In the center of this homeworld there's a dude shooting enemies with a shrink grow cannon. And we cannot hurt the enemies unless they are small, leading to a waiting game, or in some places a race against the clock. I wish I could say that these levels are pretty basic, but unfortunately not. The first level we enter, Haunted Towers, is also the shortest for us, since the first half of the level requires to use the red flame breath to break metal enemies and doors. We can barely get anything. But we won't leave empty-handed, since I noticed we can probably glide over to a smaller area hidden behind a metal door. And while attempting that, I accidentally learned a new trick. Slope gliding. I call it that at least. But if you glide up against a sloped wall, you can stay on the same height and in some cases even gain height. This might be useful in the future. Doesn't help us to get around the metal knight blocking the rest of the level. But here is another little known fact. The sparkling whirlwind stretches further down than shown by the sparkles. We can simply just glide there, giving us access to a bit more to level. But not that much more, as almost immediately afterwards we need another Fairy Kiss and the Red Flame to break Metal Door. The saddest part is that if we could break this door, we could access a supercharge and probably get everything in this level. But we have to count our losses and exit the level with only 1 out of 3 dragons and 107 out of 500 gems. Worst level so far. Then it was time for Dark Passage. A level that is a lot better. Its mechanic is that there are dudes with lanterns that you can either flame or charge and they'll light up the room. While the room is lit up, the enemies are small, meaning that we can kill them all. We are doing squats apparently. And after 100 squats we can leave the level with everything apart from 1 rocket that would have destroyed a reinforced metal chest, crate, whatever you want to call it. Then, actually the most fun level on this whole world, Lofty Castle. I'm usually not a fan of this level, but it has a supercharge, which makes it very fun and interesting now. The big balloon dudes are only damageable with Flame Breath, but with supercharge, we can actually kill them. It allows us to do these fun supercharged runs. And this was turning into a workout stream that we'll decide. But we could exit Lofty Castle with 386 out of 400 gems and all dragons. It's at this point I would like to tell you about the fight level. But no. Since the fight level is blocked by 2 big metal boys that you have to shrink with the magic cannon. The enemy currently controlling the cannon will never shoot them, meaning that we can't access this fight level. So there's another one missed. So we carry it directly on to Yaquis, or however you pronounce French. This level is all about these tiny jester dudes that turn in timers when you hit them. And these male and female monsters that has to be charged and flamed respectively. All the tight glades. My cheeks were clenched. Then we got to Yaquis himself. Another boss that has to be flamed. But we can jump on the same box he's standing on to reach the next area. That doesn't help us much, as the next one requires us to hurt him to lower our platform. Maybe you remember something I said in the Haunted Towers. The sparkling whirlwind stretches further down than shown by the sparkles. Meaning, with a precise jump we can do this. Resulting in us getting 75 more gems on this level. Glorious. Then we enter the last world, Nasty's world, with 7,911 gems. Quite well over the 6,000 needed. The whole world insta gives us a dragon, putting us on 72, and like I said, this world only has 4 levels. 2 normal levels, a boss level and a special level we can't access unless we get 100% in the game. So we don't have to worry about that one at all. Entering the first level, Norco. I'll tell you about the special thing about these. To unlock the next level, you have to exit through the exit portal for each level. Which I definitely won't forget, I swear. It also introduced these metal barrels to charge, you can launch them into stuff, which in turn allows us to almost 100% North Cove. I get everything apart from one big enemy. This one here. But there's maybe a way to get him. By first damaging myself to break the explosive crate he is holding, and then charge the metal barrel the little dude is standing on into him. I unfortunately never got it. And I started to run out of lives, so I just decided to ignore the last 5 games on this level. And here we are at the final normal level, Twilight Harbor. Another fun one since it has a supercharge on it. But that is quite quickly hampered as I realized that I can't raise the bridge without flame breath. Or... no. God damn. So that's entire area is locked off, meaning that I can't get everything. Still, got 314 out of 400 and both dragons. Then I definitely didn't forget to exit through the exit portal, so I had to run through that level again. The footage you're watching must be altered or something. Then it was time to face Nasty Nork himself. And really, isn't much to mention here. To access Nasty, we need to catch 2 key thieves, which we easily do with charging, and then we chase Nasty. Now the thing is, we can't kill Nasty, because you have to flame him. So we're just gonna get every single gem here. I'm gonna try charging him once, but not on this turn. I'm gonna start with just collecting all the gems on the first run. There's also a skill point to have him like run 5 times, or whatever. Still, this is a lot of gems. But we can't hurt him. It's only Flames does that. So we have to let him live for now. That also stops us from getting a second dragon in the home world, as he would spawn after you defeat Nasty. But still, we end the charge only round with 9,195 gems and 76 dragons and 11 eggs. Which is a lot more than I could ever expected. I wonder though, could we have done more for the Flame Breath run? And we can. A viewer looked up that if you meet the requirements to enter another homeworld, you can access that homeworld from another balloonist. So while we can't access the other half with magic crafters, we can continue into Beastmakers. Let's give Charge only a run for their money. Terra's Village even harder without running, but still managed to get 311 out of 400 gems and both dragons. Mr. Bug is also difficult without running, but we can kill both the stumps and the pigs. I even believe that I could get most things there before the exit portal. Or was I wrong? Apparently it's scripted which enemies can die after pig charging, so I had to leave a few alive. Still 404 out of 500 gems and all dragons. Wild Flight is a free 300 gems as it goes with 5 levels. Treetops were a horrible level for Flame only. But the Green Thief got stuck, so I could actually get him. And the red we could get in front of and get him before he runs away. So still 202 gems out of 500 and 2 out of 3 dragons. In Metalhead I can get some extra gems by having the big enemies hit the smaller enemies with another smaller enemy. And with the Metalhead being able to hurt himself in his confusion, we can get a good 445 out of 500 gems. And a singular dragon out of this boss level. After some push-ups, we take on Dreamweavers. Specifically, the Haunted Towers. This is again unfortunate disappointment. Even though we can red flame all knights in the first area and the second, the next door requires supercharge to enter. And there is no fairy close enough that we could take the back door in there either. Just not enough time. And it's even worse because there exists a red flame upgrade that lasts the entire level in another area. But no glide gets us far enough to reach it, which means we have to exit this level with only 1 dragon and half the gems. Still better than the charge run. Then went the Dark Passage. Not much to say apart from that we can't kill tortoises enemies as they are made of metal. Still, that's 410 out of 500 gems and all 5 dragons, which also brings us to 6,270 gems. That is Nasty's homeworld unlocked. Nothing special unlocked the castle. Can't use the supercharged run, but still 344 out of 400 gems and all 3 dragons. Then we get the magic cannon in Dreamweavers, allowing us to shrink the 2 metal enemies blocking the path to the final flight level. Which gives us 300 gems and another 100% at flight level. That is 4 out of 5. And that's where it'll stay, since we can't enter the one in Magic Crafters. Then it was Shakis. This level was a challenge for Flame only as well, as apart from the tight glides and me not being able to kill the metal enemies, I thought I was stuck with the key to the chest here. As if I would die, I need to get the key again. Luckily, with some precise platforming, I could just squeeze myself in with these metal enemies and reach the locked chest. The quiz himself was just done the intended way. Getting us 448 out of 500 gems and of course the dragon. First level on Nasty's homeworld went the worse, as a lot is focused on charging metal barrels into enemies. Which proved to be a very big issue at the end of the level, as this hole blocked by 2 large enemies holding explosive barrels. I can fly and ignite the barrels, but they just get knocked down in the process and they return to full health when I respawn. And like I said earlier, I need to enter the exit portal or the next level won't open. So how do we solve this? With damage boosting. Of course. By jumping in the water we can sacrifice 1 health to reach the exit portal platform and even jump down for some more gems. Giving us 317 gems from North Cove. And all dragons. Twilight Harbor was pretty standard. Could kill all enemies, but without supercharge, there was some areas I couldn't reach, and some crates I couldn't break. Still, 256 gems, and all dragons from here. Then it was time for the final level, Nasty Nork himself. And I wish I could tell you that we got through it and finished off Nasty Nork once and for all. But alas, the thieves holding the keys blocked us. I could barely kill the first thief with flames, but the second one was just too fast. Meaning, Nasty get to live once more. But after all this effort, how did we fare? Flame only run only got 8,460 gems, 71 dragons and 8 dragon eggs. Which is less of everything than Charge on the run got. Most of that was us not being able to access 3 levels of Magic Crafters. Even when I went back and tried to get more gems, couldn't find more than 1 glide in treetops. That only resulted in like 35 more gems. That was it. No way to enter the other half of Magic Crafters, meaning the final score for Flame only is 8,495 gems, 71 dragons and 8 dragon eggs. But what if I told you that I got a lot more gems on my charge run afterwards? Yeah, I found a way to enter the other half of Peacekeepers. With jumping over the cliff, dying in the process, I get the cannon enemy to hit the pillar. And it was still destroyed afterwards, meaning that I could get the rest of the gems in Peacekeepers, as well as the egg and the dragon. This also allowed me to enter the flight level, getting another 180 gems, resulting in 9,462 gems, 77 dragons, and all 12 eggs. But I wasn't done there, because I went back to Dreamweavers and could barely squeeze past these big metal enemies, allowing me to get another 56 gems in Dreamweavers and 180 gems from the last flight level. I'm a bit iffy if this should be allowed with my third rule, no glitches, as this could technically be a proxy. So I'll keep these 236 gems separated in the final tally. So which will win? Apparently it is charge only, and by a lot. 9,462 plus 236 gems, 77 dragons out of 80 and all 12 eggs. Against 8,495 gems, 71 dragons and 8 dragon eggs. That is 4 more eggs, 6 more dragons, and 1,203 gems. Over 1,000 more. That's insane. But that's also the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like it, and until next time. See ya. While the credits play, I'm just gonna scroll through so you can see how much percentage I've gotten from each level in the 2 runs, side by side. Both the big furry enemies and the blue wizards require sharp flaming. Not charging, flaming. And that was my daily steps hit. You normally destroy the pillar with a canoe. No, not a canoe.